rigid restrictions. I won't put up with restrictions. Time's come for eviction. Just give me that friction.
Crimson Clad.
All right, that's right with me. Let's get this flipped over. Let's see, does everything look good? Let's get my shit on. Hey, you were just here for Post Up. My name is Crimson Clad, and this is Fullforce Radio. Hey, guys, welcome. I'm happy to have you tonight. I see there are some familiar faces in the crowd. Some of you I haven't seen in a while. Hey, Viking Adventure. Hello, friends. Hello. So, John Lemmy, first, get shit on. Yeah, I know. Look, there's Sophia Dog, the babe. John is here. I want to say hi to John because I'm pretty sure it's been like 16 years since I've seen you, at least, minimum. At least. Sophia is Lulu's mom, and she's the most beautiful girl. I'm so glad. So listen, it looks like it's going to be a full house. There's people in here early tonight. I see Johnny Gearjammer never makes it for Full Force Radio. Whoever you are, wherever you are, however you got here, I welcome you. I'm hoping we're going to have a really good night tonight. I have lots of music to play for you. And I've lost my spectacles, friends. That's annoying. All right. Well, so at some point I will find my glasses, but I do have pizza. So, all of the bases are covered. I've raced home from work. I have fun music to play for you. And I'm jazzed. I'm jazzed to put some loud music in your guys' ears. And we'll hopefully not overheat because we're rocking the Canadian chic toque tonight. I have silly stuff to talk about. Yes, spectacles. Spectacles, testicles, wallet, and watch. Interestingly enough, I have none of these things, actually. Literally none of these things. Jon Snow, you know nothing, but I'm so glad you're here. Another person who I haven't seen in about 1 trillion years. Fun! Fucking fun. Tonight's going to be loud music. It's so great to see so many wonderful people back around coming to hang out for the show. I was going to say the snow. I hope not, but the Calgary crew is getting buried. So we'll talk a little bit about that over the course of the night tonight. That is something. I don't even know what this gift that Ron has is of me clapping, but it's great. I vote all of the worst / best gifts. I'm stoked. We're gonna eat music and play pizza. We're gonna play pizza, eat music. Most of it's metal. Hopefully not in your pizza. No, we're going to listen to loud music, mostly heavy metal tonight, a little bit of rock and roll, and inspired by all the stuff that's been going on in my life the last couple weeks, and then hopefully some of the stuff that you guys are going through. Yeah, eat pizza music, listen to pizza. Honestly, if pizza tells you to do something, you should probably just do it. And yeah, so it'll be good. So I'm super stoked to have you guys back. Everybody's hopping on in. It'll be a bumper tonight, and that is awesome. And of course, for those of you who have been around the Hive blockchain and just haven't had time to hang out with us, then of course, right before me on MSP Waves is Post Up. And so if you've got content that you're creating or you're making posts and you want to show off all your cool shit, come for that too. Make a night of it. I'll eat pizza and do absolutely nothing meaningful for you at all, except maybe entertain you. But if you come earlier, then people will read your shit. I want to read your shit. Show me your shit. Don't show me your shit. God. You know, good. Perfect. That's how we like to start a show around here. So I will get the beeping and the booping, and I will make a post myself for tonight. But since the last time I saw you, darlings, what has been happening? Let me think. So on what day? Oh, we had Easter. That's right. And so last week we actually talked a lot about religion, which was interesting because everybody believes that all heavy metal is fully satanic all the time because there's yelling and Satan likes to yell. So we talked a little bit about that, and we kind of just broke down the fact that I'm literally stuck in the year. I'm literally stuck in the year like 2003-ish. Mentally, that's where my head's at. Fully and totally. And, you know, like late 90s, early 2000s. And as such, on Easter Sunday, I didn't quite go to church, but I got taken to church. And so a lot of the music tonight is going to be inspired by the fact that I went, yes, 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆 is in Denver tomorrow. I'm so excited for you. I will be going Tuesday of next week. So yeah, I'm excited too. We'll talk a little bit about upcoming shows because I know all of you people out there who do actually come to this show for metal. I don't know how many of you that actually is. There are great shows going on. But so yeah, I did go and see Slipknot on Sunday night. Nothing says you love the good baby Jesus like going to see a Slipknot arena show. The last time that I saw Slipknot was like, hey Breeze, you come to the show for the host. Mwah! I love it. Yeah, and we gotta branch out. I'm thinking, you know, poor Puku and you, and there's so many people who are doing great metal content around the blockchain. I kind of want to like create like a side corner of the show that I don't know. I have thoughts, I have plans. They just never come to fruition. But so on Sunday night, I celebrated by going to see Slipknot and In This Moment. And I tell you what, wowzers. The last time I saw Slipknot in Vancouver was like the early 2000s, I believe. I'm not sure, but it would have been pretty darn long ago. And you know what? I didn't know what to expect. And I thought we'd talk a little bit about this tonight because you guys know I'm a pretty passionate metalhead and I love all things metal. And sometimes people look at me and go, oh, well, you don't look like somebody who likes metal. And I'll be like, well, that's rude. But one of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about and kind of ask, you know, your opinion on is the diversity of popular music and metal in general, because I could not believe the crowd around me at Slipknot. And I could not believe the people who were throwing down In This Moment. So I thought we'd talk about the big stage show stuff because it's been a while. I mean, honestly, doesn't it feel like after years and years of COVID-icy that it's kind of crazy to think of giant arena shows again? So this was good, kind of getting a feel for what does an arena show look like now? What are these, you know, what are bands being able to pull off because all of the different fucking, you know, technology that's changing now. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and then we'll talk about things that are completely, wholly, and totally unrelated to shows, like the fact that the weed number was on the calendar yesterday. It is indeed, depending on where you are. If you're not upside down, sorry, Gabe. If you're not upside down and it's not the 22nd for you, yesterday was 420, which if you live in Canada, and probably for some of you in the States, probably where 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆 lives especially, 420 blaze it, smoke weed every day. Vancouver, BC, where I live on the West Coast, is powered solely by pot smoke. Like, if you could picture some sort of Victorian old-timey machine, but literally just powered by clouds and clouds of the marijuana, that was yesterday. So I thought I have some stoner doom in the playlist because there's that. I know poor Viking Adventure is like allergic, but You didn't. You didn't die. You lived another year. So whatever you did on 420 is A-okay. But, it was the weed number. So I thought we'll talk a little bit about that. And then some ridiculous things. Just ridiculous things that I found around the internet. And we'll just roll with it. We'll roll with it. My 420 was excellent. Thank you very much. I am a preferer. That's right. Aggie did. He had a 420 baby. And my best girlfriend is born on 420 as well. She shares a birthday with Hitler, and everybody celebrates the weed instead of her. She planned it perfectly. If you're gonna jump out of a vagina, do it on the same day as Hitler. But with that being said, I am a preferer of edibles, so I had a chill day. But yes, the blessings of the grasses be upon all of you. So we talked last week about how ridiculous it is. We have created an entire holiday around anthropomorphic, giant, 6-foot-tall rabbits shitting out. Why is Jason live on air? Off you go, Jason. I think he probably clicked on wanting to watch my stream and could hop in. That's the only problem with putting the live beacon up on the Discord is some people are like, oh, neat, I'm going to watch. And then it throws them in here with no sound. Clever, except not clever. All right. So yeah, we were talking a little bit about how the Easter Bunny is one of the weirdest things on the planet. But I'm going to say that, grass and chill and whatever. I could jump in the audience, but the reality is, Ron, it doesn't actually pass my sound along. So even if I do jump in the audience, people won't get the music, which makes it completely pointless to do. So it's literally just to put a little flag on the server to get people's attention. But yeah, bunnies don't lay eggs, but who cares? But then they're out of sync. I don't know. We'll talk about it. We could do that if you guys want, but then I'd have to up the quality. We'll play around with it and see what you guys think. So yes, it's not weirder than the skull horse that makes you give it food. But I love 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆, and I also want to celebrate 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖛𝞶, and that's the main difference. Easter to me is like, make fun Ukrainian Easter eggs, buy a bunch of chocolate on sale, watch my nephews run around in the yard, send them home with their parents, and have zero consequences. It's delightful. So this week, we've moved on. The bunnies live in the grass, and the grass then gets smoked. So we're after 420. We are moving into what feels like the Renaissance. Yeah, Jason is just drunk clicking. And for all of you who are here tonight, I hope that you too are able to drunk click your way to happiness. Just remember that you can actually watch and hang out and like and be cool on whatever platform you want. I got razzed on Saturday. I got madly burned by Trinkowski, who says, nobody actually likes my streams anyways, even though I think Twitch I can be monetized on now, or maybe, I don't know. I've never really thought about it. I don't pay enough attention. I'm bad at this. But long story short is he threw out there that nobody fucking likes my videos. You can watch wherever you want, and you don't have to like my videos. So if you want to do that, you can go to Twitch TV, you can go to YouTube, you can go to Theta, you can go to Trovo, you can go to Vim TV, powered by the blockchain, or if you just want good sound in your ears, you can go to mspwaves.com, which is, of course, what started the whole thing. The whole live radio schmozzle where I play loud music and talk shit to you. Good? Good. Okay, so, yeah, on Sunday night, I would love, hi Blue, good to see you. Oh, and Corbin made it too. All of the Calgarians, all of the Albertans are digging themselves out of a snowbank and showing up tonight. Delightful. So, Bree says one year she made her daughter and her friends an Easter Bunny piñata, gave them sticks and told them that's the fucker that hid your eggs. That's brilliant. If anything, you're doing them a service. If you ever see a rabbit large enough to swallow you whole and then shit out your innards like eggs, fucking beat that thing with a stick. 1,000%. I like it. That's good. That's good training. It's good training. Easter's weird. Easter's fucking weird. All right. So yes, I did indeed on Sunday night, go to see Slipknot. And I'll tell you what, it's been a long time. Now, I forgot how hard comparatively Slipknot is. I forgot double kicks, fast blast beats. And for the first time in a long time, and I swear we'll play some music tonight, for the first time in a long time, I decided I'm an old lady and I am too cheap. I am not going to pay $200 to be in the pit. So I bought seats. I bought seats to see Slipknot. And I'll tell you, by about 15 minutes into the show, I immediately regretted my decision. But what I will say, and probably one of my favorite things, and I was just raring to tell you guys about, and maybe it's stupid, but I wanted to tell you guys about it, is, when you're always in the pit, you're always with the people who love that band the most. Who else is willing to literally throw their body and their life on the line to get repeatedly punched in the face and stomped into the ground and thrown over the barricade and, so close to the speakers that your eardrums literally liquefy and leak out your anus? Those are the people who love that band. The people who are in the pit are the diehards. They're the crazy people. LK's like, not since I was around 26. Well, I'm even younger than 26 at heart, but I'm not going to lie. As I get older, $200 to get down in the pit with Slipknot. And I thought, I could sit. Think of all the beer I could consume without, having it jostled out of my hands. That's fine. I'll sit. And I will drink alcohol, and it'll be amazing. And so I did. I had fantastic seats. I had dead center, right in front of the stage. And so I looked around. LK almost broke his arm to an opening band before you went on to play. That would have been the worst. You would have had to pull a Dave Grohl and had like a throne or something. Or be like an orange goblin where, right before the show, somebody high-fives you and literally high-fives your arm out of your socket. It's very metal. PZ has no idea what's going on, but he's literally tapped in for liquid ear anus Slipknot COVID. Yeah, absolutely. It's because you're in the pit and in front of the speakers that I'm looking very hip-hop tonight. Oh, thank you. I guess it's because I have a toque on. Because it's lousy smarch weather, which we can talk a little bit about too, because the Calgarians are getting absolutely ass blasted since this show is literally only about butts ever since COVID and before. But yes, I came straight from work, so I'm not wearing a metal shirt, okay? I'm wearing a sweater like a respectable human. Let me get to the moral of my story. I'm usually in the pit. I'm usually a crazy person. John, that's the worst gif I've ever seen, and it's amazing. It's amazing. Is that me being seductive? Wow. I would not hit me. Wouldn't do it. That bitch looks crazy. All right. So I'm sitting in the bleachers, and I have great seats. And I'm looking around. Hey, Theta, dog, good to see you again. And I'm looking around me, and I'm like, wow. Look at the people here for this concert. And I don't know about you guys, but if you have seats, do you say hi to the neighbors on either side of you? Because especially, I often go to shows alone. I'm a spectacle. That's a nice way of putting it. No spectacles. Careful, I'm going to get called out for being Illuminati now. So I'm looking around me, and I don't know about you guys. Maybe this is a Canadian thing. Let me know if you're watching or listening or rewatching or re-listening. Tell me, do you introduce yourself to people sitting on either side of you? Perhaps this is exceptionally politely Canadian. Maybe. So I immediately say hello to the woman on this side of me. Her name is Sarah. I immediately say hello to the gentleman on this side of me. His name is Andrew. And next to Andrew is Andrew's best friend, Mike. And I'm like, wow. LK says, I mean mug everyone. Okay, fair enough. I'm not like that. And that's okay, because they probably think I'm crazy. But as I'm looking, I realize, look at this. Beside me here, Sarah has, full N95 mask. She's got the whole face thing going on. And she was delightful. She was such a nice lady. And then on this side, we've got Andrew. He is literally rocking tattoos from the tips of his fingers all the way up to his elbow that I can see, all the way up to his chin, curving around his ear, and all the way down his shaved head. Literally only a small circle of face, not tattooed. And Sarah looks to be maybe Muslim. And I'm looking, and she's actually got her kid and her husband. And I'm talking to Andrew. Andrew is FaceTiming his wife at home. And it turns out that Mike is his gay best friend. And Mike looks like he should be on some sort of design house show. He's very put together. He's super fit. You know, his lock screen on his phone is his corgi wearing an impeccable tuxedo. Overall, in the space of 2 seats on either side of me, the diversity is fucking wild. Now, please remember, I'm going to see Slipknot. And I'm like, this is great. This is absolutely great. And I'm talking to Andrew's wife on his FaceTime while the crowd is getting prepared and everything going. And Mike the gay fellow, who looks like he should be, like I said, doing something fantastic, like, I don't know, designing somebody's wedding couture, offers me some acid. And when I'm like, oh, well, I actually have to drive tonight, so I gotta be a little careful, Andrew's wife on the phone called me a pussy. So I took some acid. And in any case, Slipknot was amazing. But this is the kind of experience that I often miss when I'm in the pit, because this is the joy of heavy fucking metal. This is the joy of heavy fucking metal. I could not explain to you how looking around, every second seat is a hardcore metalhead. But then there's a young Asian couple in front of me. I'm pretty sure they're like 10 years old combined. I don't think they were even alive, like, at the 5th or 6th Slipknot album. They are throwing down. Mike, having the time of his life, tripping triangles. Next to me, Sarah and her child. Her child's wearing full headphones and is watching anime on her tablet. Sarah is standing up on her seat, screaming out, "If you are 555, I am 666. It was an absolute trip. So I don't know about you guys, but when was the last time you were at a live show? And do you find that music in general, or the music that you listen to, or the places you go, do you find that all sorts of people are there? Because one thing that I can say about heavy metal is that everyone is welcome. Everyone is there. And it's wild to see somebody who looks like they're just so chill and so put together. By the time we hit Duality, the entire upper bowl had broken out into a mosh pit and had to be kind of settled down. And I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know that you would get this at a country concert. I don't know if you would get this, I don't know if you would get this anywhere else. But there is something fucking amazing about the brotherhood of metal. So I want to play some in this moment for you tonight. I want to play some Slipknot, and I am so jazzed to, kind of be back in this headspace after going to a show and remembering how much people love loud music. I didn't need the reminder, but god damn it, I got it. And I'm there too. So I'm fucking excited. So I'm going to put a bunch of music in your ears. And you guys are my truly diverse group experiencing it here with me tonight. It brings us together and we're going to have a time. Everybody say hi to Ron's mom. And let's actually play some fucking music. If you were listening to before the stream started, I actually played something by a band called Green Druid. And they're fucking awesome. I'm going to play a lot of like stoner death tonight for sure. So speaking of Denver, Colorado, 𝖊𝖕𝖆, psychedelic stoner doom from Denver, because honestly, if there's going to be a bunch of people smoking pot, making metal, that's where they're from. So if you want to check them out, They do a lot of sort of occultish, Lovecraftian nonsense. Super cool stoner doom. I played you a track called A Throne Abandoned, and I'll keep it in the playlist for tonight if you want to go back and check it out after. But super, super sick. And before I actually play anything else, like, let me show you. Look at this cover art. Like, this is amazing. I don't know, some like mummified ruler who is actually like desiccated down into the throne in a burning forest. Yeah. Shit's cool. It's metal. Okay, so with that, let's actually play some music. Let's have some fun. I am jazzed. I hope you guys are also jazzed. And I thought if we're gonna start, we should probably start with something super, super classic in terms of the weed number. Hey, Julia. So if we're gonna do the weed, because you have to say it like that, the weed number, the 420, then I guess we will play some Black Sabbath. Now, there's an excellent chance this will get the show nuked off of YouTube, so you better watch it there now, and I will try and fix it after the show. But who wants to play some Sweet Leaf? Everybody. I'm going to eat my pizza. We're going to listen to some weed music, and then we are going to descend into madness because there's some heavy stuff on the playlist tonight. I'm so stoked to have you here. My name is Crimson Clad. This is Fullforce Radio.
I can't forget you.
we are going to have some fisticuffs up in chat. Lulu, the beautiful desert dog, has followed me upstairs because she realized I had pizza. So say hi, Lulu. Hi, cutie girl. So yeah, Viking Adventure has Sophia, who is Lulu's mama. But look at how far she's come. Look at this beautiful smiley baby. Big tail waggy baby wanting to hang out with me, no less. I mean, yeah, she wants a pizza, but she wants my company too. All right. So, hey, listen, I was mentioning there's going to be some fucking fisticuffs in chat, and that's because Jesus is throwing down. Yeah, kind of a classic, for sure. Corbin says, generally not a big stoner metal guy. Well, we'll see how you do with tonight. A lot of the music that I have on the playlist is sort of stoner tinged. Now, you know, there are a lot of different interpretations of this because you're asking, oh, you know, is it because of the content? Is it because of the lyrics? What it is? Is it just the band is full of stoners? And the answer is yes. Across the board. Yes. I mean, stoner in general is sort of this very lo-fi, fuzzy kind of feeling that when you're high, obviously things are different for everyone, but one of the sort of overarching feelings of being hella tripping triangles, out you gourd, smoke to high heaven, is that you're a little fuzzy. You are not wholly in control of your body. You might be feeling some anxiety. You might be smoking something laced with a little bit of psychedelics. And overall, it tends to be a little bit lower, a little bit slower. It's got a fuzz on it. And yeah, there are plenty of bands out there. I mean, obviously, I've got a couple tonight, and some that didn't make it, like, say, 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆, literally just the, like, or 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆. There are plenty of bands who literally exist just to make music. Hi, MSP Waves. Literally just to make music about smoking. The Devil's Lettuce I saw tonight. I saw 𝖍𝖊𝖆𝖘. I like that one. You know, I would like for us to 1000% make new names for weed tonight that are stupid. Right before there was a level up, and then I'm counting counting Julia's as well. So I'm going to do 2 big shots. What about something like the Rapscallions Scallions? I would like for us to come up with the most ridiculous names for weed. That's 1000% what I want to do tonight. Pick a random, like, vegetable and, like, a random, I don't know, insult or descriptive and just smash them together and let's just see what we can get. Because obviously, yeah, Devil's Lettuce, Jazz Cabbage. Let's come up with bad names for weed. So let's do these shots because Ron leveled up during my show. And I owe Julia one from last night. And frankly, I would love a good buzz on. Let's do it. Let's have a thing. So, we'll kind of... Hi, stinky girl. She's right behind me wagging the 5-leaf death punch. Well, I mean, it depends. I'm not a big... Castro's cilantro. I love it. That's amazing. Castro's cilantro. Fantastic. We're gonna have to compile a list of bad names for weed, for sure. I'm a fan. So, the other thing that I have, since we're talking about drugs and things you shouldn't do and bad things, I am going to be drinking tonight a sugar bomb, I guess. Coca-Cola vanilla with coffee. Because how much do I hate my body? I don't really drink pop. I'm very concerned. There are 18 grams of sugar in this can. That feels like I'm going to be dead. I'm going to be dead in a graveyard dead. Yeah. But you know what? It's an experiment. Either I'm going to be hyper, out of control, or I'm going to poop myself on air. And both of those things, you know, I feel like it's a crapshoot. Adolf's arugula. Viking Adventure is really hitting it hard on the dictators. Linguini zucchini. No, I don't think you quite got what we're doing here, Chomp Lamb. Not quite. Yes, don't drink this. You know, everybody who comes to my shows loves to lecture me. Don't watch TV. Don't play video games. Don't do VR. Don't blockchain. You eat crap food. listen, I'm fairly fit. I have a very well-balanced life. Every now and again, if I want to take acid with a gay man at a Slipknot concert and then drink Coca-Cola with coffee and vanilla, deal with it. I don't have the glasses, but Photoshop them onto my face. Deal with it. All right. So, yeah, I mean, listen, you may or may not like stoner metal, and that's A-okay. But I do have a lot of fun stuff on the playlist tonight that is stoner adjacent. We don't have to all just like fully immerse ourselves in the mean marigold gene. Not so good. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. So, let's hope. I'm doing it wrong. Oh no, I'm doing it wrong. It's true. I'm doing it wrong. Listen, you could tell me that on Saturday. This is. I don't like it? Question mark. But I'm gonna drink the whole thing. I'm probably gonna poop myself. Let's see. How much caffeine is in this? You know what? Don't you worry about that, little guy. Let's get to Molly Joy's broccoli. Do you know anybody named Molly Joy? That's fantastic. I'm glad you're working hard, Corbin. Okay, so listen. I have a lot of fun shit tonight. I do. So I'm gonna drink bad drinks. I'm going to be under the influence of an incredible amount of sugar, potentially a lot of caffeine, another shot because Julia leveled up yesterday, and if any of you guys level up in my chat tonight, then gosh darn it, you'll get a shot too. So let's do that, and then let's carry on, because of course I do want to talk about the lousy smarch weather. Terrible. You know, wherever you live, some of you, it may not be the same season, but here in Vancouver, you'll see often that I wear a toque into the spring. And Vancouver is a strange place here on the West Coast, Best Coast. We have a fun season called rain. We have an additional season for the rest of the year. We have spring, summer, fall, winter, and we also have another season. Hey, are you Brandon? I think you're Brandon, but you're Brandon now. Hi. You know, we have this season called rain, and you can find rain in between all the other seasons. You're like, oh, spring is here. The cherry blossoms are out. It's sunshiny and glorious. Let me take my Instagram photo. Rain for like a month. And then you're like, oh, summer is here. It's so fucking hot. Oh my God, what's going on? Rain. Absolutely. And then you get to fall and you're like, oh, the colors are amazing. I'm going to climb a mountain. It's so crisp and cool. Everything smells good and the world is alive. Rain. You see where I'm going with this. But so for Vancouver, one of the very common outfits that I wear a lot is the tank top. You know, the tank top and the toque, wherein all of you is decently warm except your ears. That's a very Canadian feeling. And so for those of you who may be living around the world, hey, JJ, good to see you. Yeah, there is that lousy smarch weather that has continued on for a while. Bonsai broccoli, I like it. Giggle smoke, I like it also. But you didn't come up with that. That came off a list. You get, I don't know, an X or something. Bad. Gotta come up with it yourself. All right. So here's the deal. Things are shitty here in Vancouver on and off. It's nice. We're in spring. Everything's majestic. And then every now and again it rains. But it turns out that the rest of the world is experiencing some bullshit fucking weather. And the Calgarians, especially in the middle part of Canada, is getting absolutely bodied with snow. Now, I don't think this is a normal thing, but who am I to say? I'm drinking vanilla Coke with coffee in it. Blech. It's gross, and I can't stop drinking it. But the Calgarians, the Albertans, the Middle Plains people, I guess if we could find Clyde, we could ask him to, getting absolutely hammered with snow. And this is weird. So I'm curious to know if where you are, is the weather inclement. I heard Montreal got some snow yesterday. This is not normal as we move into what is practically May. For most of Canada, we should be sunshiny and happy or rain. So where do you live, and is the weather picking up? Or is this it? Is it the end of days? Blue Robo's stoked because extended snowboard season. What's happening where you live? Because apparently everyone I know is getting absolutely ass fucking buried in snow. And it's not even May. Now, if the audio is gone, that is because of the bot in Discord. So please remember that you can watch and listen wherever you like. Discord sounds like donkey dicks in your ears. So if you do not want that to happen, go somewhere else. John says it's usually 32 degrees mostly. Okay. So you are always like perky and whatever. So in Alberta, we just expect snow till May long. That is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I don't like it. No, thank you. No, sir. Oh, goodness, that's a gif. So fair enough. Everybody that I know and love around the world is getting weirdly hammered with inclement weather. Not me, but you. And I feel bad for you. So in that case, I thought for old time's sake, I would put in one of my favorite Trivium songs, because tonight doesn't have a theme, and I haven't really totally been I haven't been, banging out themes as of late, just because we've been having fun, off the cuff snow shows. We've been having fun off the cuff shows. So we're just kind of going with it. And so tonight I'm going to throw in one of my favorite Trivium songs. It is off an album called Silence in the Snow. It is Silence in the Snow. No snow from across from your work, and vacuum for sit and not for scale. Oh, so what you're telling me is you're bigger than the vacuum. I got it. I see what's happening. It's a weird flex, but okay. So yeah, for those of you who are getting shitty weather, you've given me an excuse to play a song that I really love that I haven't gotten to play in a while. So we're going to do some Trivium. Silence in the Snow. My name is Crimson Clad. This is a Full Force Radio. And I swear to God, we're going to play more than 4 tracks tonight. I have like 20 something on the playlist. So maybe I should just shut up and metal.
Here we all stand on this canvas
listen, if you have a problem with how much pizza I'm feeding my dog, don't ever talk to me or my daughter ever again. She deserves it. Look at her. She was a trash animal on the streets of Tehran. Now she is a couch dog. She's still a trash animal. Are you a trash animal, Lulu? Fuck, she's so cute. Listen, I'm so happy that she wants to hang out with me. I'm so happy that you want to hang out with me. We're having fun here tonight. Hello, Cider Junkie. Jesus, I totally forgot to post to Vim. That's what happens when you're useless. And I am useless indeed. So I'm going to get that going in the background because I was supposed to do that and then I just didn't do that. And you know, you just get used to sucking. After a while, you sort of just bask in your own mediocrity. And you know, that's not a good place to fall into, but it's the place I find myself often. So with all that being said, I am very happy to have you tonight. We were talking at the start of the show a little bit about how metal brings out the diversity, the best of the diversity among us, and how much fun I had at the Slipknot concert seeing the incredible diversity of the crowd around me and just being reminded that metal brings people together. And then, you know, I don't know what else. But yeah, so 𝖭𝖑𝖑, I'm going to throw it out there because many people have jumped over to watch on the other streams. Tell me where you're watching from and what you like, because I would love to make all of you moderators, cool roles, whatever. Wherever you like to hang out, I would like to have you acknowledged for whatever it is that you want to watch or listen to. But yeah, I'm very serious. Originally, I was supposed to go to 𝖭𝖑𝖑. I bought my 𝖭𝖑𝖑 tickets for 2020. Canceled in 2020, canceled in 2021. And moving into 2022, I will not be able to go to 𝖭𝖑𝖑 because my girlfriend is getting married. So that is annoying, but I'm in the wedding. And so, hi, Puku. So 2022 is off the books. And as such, 2023 is the year. 𝖭𝖑𝖑 is one of the biggest and best metal festivals in the entire world, and it is in Finland. And I think, and I have been talking about this for years and years and years, I would very much like to get a group trip together. I'm going regardless. It's not a question. So if that is something that you would be interested in, let's get a chat going in the Discord. Let's do some long-term planning, and let's do it because life is too short and we should all experience pain. Okay, so well, we're at it. Thank you. Everybody's jumping. Yeah, fuck Discord. Hi, kitty girl. Hi, Gecko. More and more people jumping in. I'm happy to have you here tonight. We've been talking about the lousy Smarch weather and how metal brings us all together. I've had a couple shots. I'm drinking far too much sugar and caffeine. I have pizza. What could go wrong? Knock on wood. Hey, 𝖭𝖑𝖑𝖋𝖔. I don't even know how to say your name. 𝖭𝖑𝖑𝖋𝖔. 𝖭𝖑𝖑𝖋𝖔. Hey! I don't know. Fun. So with that, let's continue on because I have a lot of music that I want to play for you guys tonight. And I have a lot of great music. Yeah, Finland, I am obviously biased. I think all the best metal comes from Finland. And I just want to be Finnish. All of the best things come from Finland. I'm very invested overall in Finnish culture. But with that being said, I'm going to play you a not Finnish band. So I did mention that at the show, the opener, I was very excited to see Slipknot, but I'm not going to lie to you. I have a lot of female metal crushes. Boy, crutches. Yes, I rely on these women to give myself, to at least give myself some sort of legitimacy in the metal world. No, this is what happens when you drink a lot of alcohol at the start of the show. Crushes. Yes, Germany has a ton of festivals, and obviously you guys have like Rock am Ring. You guys have yeah. But that's not where I'm going. Just listen, before we do this, let me finish my statement. I actually was going to the show for In This Moment. One of my incredible, yes, Wacken, of course, arguably like the biggest metal festival in the world. I went to see In This Moment. Yes, Ginger can't tour right now, sadly, Nahu. I thought they'd be there, but they're not. Given the state of affairs in Ukraine, they are not touring right now. So Ginger was not on the docket, which was too bad. But In This Moment has abso-fucking-lutely blown my mind for many years. Maria Brink is that lady. She's like Doro to me. She's like Alita Ford. I'm confused. Do I want to be her or do I want to be with her? Maybe both. I'm not 1,000% sure. But Maria Brink is a consummate show woman. And I could not believe how incredible she looked on stage and all of the weird shit she was doing. Now, I'm not going to lie. Some of this could have been from my new friend's acid. But a lot of it, hey, Moonlight Night, a lot of it probably had to do with the fact that she was like Mecha Shiva. She had sex nuns dancing with her. And for the culmination of their set, they played a track called Whore, which is one of their absolute most famous tracks. And the sex nuns were dressed like handmaids from Gilead. They were wearing stocks around their necks, carrying giant signs that said shame written in blood, but everybody was kind of like sexy pants. It was confusing in all the right downstairs ways. So I want to play some In This Moment because they are fantastic and badass boss bitches in metal should be celebrated. Just like badass dudes in metal should be celebrated. And the long and the short of it is, honestly, absolutely. Hi! John. Hello. Hello again. We meet again. So the deal is, they should be celebrated. This track should be celebrated. And since I am so jazzed, not just tonight from the sugar and the alcohol and the pizza, but from getting back in the spirit of live shows and especially big, diverse, over-the-top, out-of-control shows, I want to play you a track called Adrenalize Me. All of the things in your life that send that electricity through your body and out from your fingertips. Whether it is sex, it's drugs, it's rock and roll, whether it's alcohol, it's life, it's clean water, it's bright sunshine, whatever it is that absolutely gets you going. Let's fucking celebrate it.
God!
right, there you go. I'm not gonna lie. Maria Brink looks like a whole lot of trouble and a whole lot of fun. Yeah, can we talk about the Prime Minister of Finland? Abso-fucking-lutely. And she's wearing a Bathory shirt. That's amazing. Okay, so yeah, we will create a little, we'll create a channel over in the Crimson Clad server, and we will discuss anybody that wants to, oh, is it a Photoshop? That's too bad. I totally believed it, to be quite honest. Oh, yeah, absolutely. The corpse paint on her is Photoshop, no doubt. And the Bathory, yeah, it is. Darn. Ah, that's too bad. Anyways, doesn't matter. Yeah. Listen, in this moment is fun. It is like angry, sexy music. And Maria Brink is a confusing, beautiful, powerful woman. And like I said, consummate showman. And one of the things that I think is most fun about all of that is that she's incredibly, incredibly empowering to everyone. She does not want you to feel like you are alone in this world. She does not want you to feel like you can amount to nothing. She is fabulous and very encouraging. So, in any case, one of the things that I really appreciated about the show is what can be done now with such simple shit as LEDs. She had this great sort of peaked LED triangle over, hey, 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖘! Oh my goodness, the other fabulous metal streamer. If you're looking for somebody else who plays some bangers, that's my man. So yeah, you know, one of the coolest things that I have seen recently is just how simple but how effective LEDs are. And this is a really common thing, even on small shows in small venues. We've got video screens with like custom graphics going on in the background. But for real, Maria Brink had like 14 different costumes. She looked amazing. She had sexy backup dancers and these bright LEDs sort of worshiping peaked triangle pyramids. I don't know, man. I don't know. You know, I'm sure you could read a lot of occultish stuff there, but it's Easter Sunday. Come and worship. Definitely worth a look into the back catalog of In This Moment. Adrenalize Me Roots is one of my favorite songs. It's one of my fight night songs. And if you've been around for the past 5 years, hey, Eileen, if you've been around for the past 5 years, you've heard me play it definitely more than once, especially when I need a fuck you, I'm powerful track. And that's metal in a nutshell, right? So, you know, I told you guys about my fun experience up in the bleachers for Slipknot. It's sort of a great reminder that I didn't know that I needed about how diverse and fun and accepting metal is. And so we kind of been talking about that tonight. And I'm definitely going to play you some Slipknot as well. And we were talking a little bit about the lousy smarch weather and how some places that shouldn't be buried under snow are buried under snow and whatnot. But one of the things that I thought I would mention, and I actually dropped it in another room earlier, is Vancouver here, we're popular for a number of things in the spring and summer. And yes, cherry blossoms are one of them, our incredible mountains. And of course, 420, it's legal here. And even when it wasn't legal, it was legal here. So when 420 rolls around, we have the Vancouver Art Gallery, the 𝖊𝖕𝖎𝖏, if you will. You can head on down to the 𝖊𝖕𝖎𝖏. And they do this ridiculous out-of-control smokeout. And this has been going on forever. And even though yesterday it rained here in Vancouver, everybody was out. They could not be dampened. Their spirits could not be dampened by a bit of rain because Vancouver, hi Castleberry, yes, perfectly legal. But even when it wasn't legal, the cops would just come. You know, hundreds and thousands of people would gather outside of the 𝖊𝖕𝖎𝖏 and smoke a lot of weed. And that's what happens on 420 every year. But so, you know, yesterday was obviously no exception. And, you know, even with it raining, a bunch of tents set up and everybody just milling about, chilling out, enjoying and partaking together. You're not extraordinarily late. We're not even halfway through the show. There's 2 more hours. So I'm happy to have you. With that, I thought I would play a little bit of stonery music because the other thing that Vancouver is known for, not just weed, not just high-priced real estate, not just foreign exchange students driving the most expensive cars in the universe, and not just yoga moms wearing Lululemon. In fact, one of the things that Vancouver is most known for is tourism. Because let's face it, there's nowhere else to go. It's ringed by waters. It's ringed by mountains. It is one of the most majestic, beautiful, absolutely stunning cities on earth. And yes, we do have the best weed. You're absolutely right. And in fact, homegrown shrooms from here are fantastic also. Always, always get BC Bud. Yes. So for those of you who are learning a new thing, Lululemon, you know, the yoga pants, like the brand that was originally for yoga, but just became about showing off your butt. Yeah, that brand started here in Vancouver. It's a very Vancouver thing. We have a lot of Starbucks, yoga, like tight pants, Botoxed, you know, soccer moms driving around with a latte. And, you know, it is, it's a great place, don't get me wrong. But it's very hippie out here on the West Coast. If you're going to get shrooms from BC, get yourself some daddy long legs. You will have a time. But I digress. The other thing that we're known for, other than yoga mom butts, and other than fantastic, mind-blasting weed, is actually tourism. Because we have a cruise port that docks right into the city. You come under one of our most beautiful, iconic bridges. You come under the Lions Gate. You come around the seawall at Stanley Park, and you drive right up through the passage, and you dock right in the city, downtown at the convention center. It's fantastic. It's an incredible experience. And each one of those boats dumps off a metric fuck ton of people. Now, that's only one part of tourism. 𝖊𝖕𝖎𝖆, our airport, is actually, you come flying in over downtown and you land just on the edge of Richmond out over the water. But where I'm going with this is, you know, people come to visit Vancouver, the city. That's spring and summer. There are no people that live in Vancouver. It is all people coming to visit. And tourism is a big thing. And as such, the hospitality industry is huge in Vancouver. You will find the best restaurants, cool pop-up shops, underground nightclubs, you know, speakeasies, and all sorts of weird concepts, foods and drinks and whatnot, because that's what the city's all about. And so you got ripped with a homeless dude. That sounds like the most Vancouver experience ever, I will say. Oh, you got ripped off by a homeless dude. Okay, well, fair enough. That also is a pretty Vancouver experience, to be quite honest. But so here's the deal. I learned earlier, and I dropped this in another room, that for this particular upcoming summer, Vancouver is going to have a very special pop-up shop. And that is 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆 Waffle House. And you will be able to buy waffles that look like gigantic penises on sticks. Now, this is from Vancouver, or Daily Hive, but it's on Vancouver is Awesome. It's on every, you know, we were talking a couple weeks ago, maybe it was even last week, about dumb Vancouver news articles, because there's not a whole lot going on in Vancouver at any given day. But, so yeah, if you come over here to the browser, can I put this up here? I might have to bleep this out after. So take a look at this. Let me just zoom in case you can't see what's happening here. Gigantic penis-shaped waffles. And this is a big thing. I did not know that this has traveled around the world, and they were opened first in like Spain or something. And then over the last couple years, there was and I do not joke, I shit you not, friends, speaking of getting all the munchies after having all the weed, you could get a members-only penis waffle in Toronto. Why the balaclava? I don't know. Maybe if you decide to hold a gigantic dripping cock up next to your face, you're just kind of like, well, you know. The focus should really be on this masterful representation of a penis. But so in Toronto, this was a thing, and it was members only. You had to like be on a list so you could come in and get a giant penis to put in your mouth. And neither here nor there. But so I was looking at this and I was just like, huh, boy, oh boy. And the more I was looking at this, I thought, Oh God, look at these ads. This is not the browser I normally use, but it's the one that opens automatically when I click on a link. So I was looking at these and I was like, how is this? Look at this. I know you don't want to, but we're going to look at it together. How did they get gigantic veins on a waffle? It's so 3D. It's so realistic. And yeah, there's all different colors of waffle. Big chocolate ones. There's all different colors of shiny glaze. Is it chocolate? I don't know. There's just a lot going on. But even these bear ones in here, they're veiny. How do you make a veiny waffle? I have a lot of questions. And at the end of the day, I'm a fat girl. You better believe I would 1,000. It's ripped. John's right. It is. It's ripped. There's a lot going on here. I thought I would show you guys, speaking of all the important things that are happening in Vancouver, this is apparently one of them. We're reopening to the world. We're welcoming back visitors. And, there's this famous quote. You would take one for the team. Attaboy. Well, listen, there's this famous quote from a prime minister we had way back. And I'm not talking about True Daddy's daddy. I'm talking about another French gentleman. We used to have a prime minister called Jean Chrétien. And there was this famous quote, and it got made fun of for years in Canada, where what he said was, all Canadians want is happiness. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard a really thick Quebecois accent, and I'm sure the Frenchies know where I'm going with this, but they don't pronounce H's. There's no h. And so for the longest time, this sound clip that was out there was Jean Chrétien saying, all Canadians want is a penis. They want a penis. And I remember growing up, I was just a wee young thing. This was the funniest fucking thing on earth. This, absolutely, that's all Canadians want. Ha 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 ha, he said penis. And so now I feel like it's all coming full circle. You guys from around the world, you will descend upon Vancouver and we will present you with a gigantic veiny dick of a waffle. And it'll be amazing. You're going to eat your waffle and walk the seawall in your Lululemons. Welcome to Vancouver. All right. Good night. I'm so happy to see you, Breeze. May it warm up a little bit or cool down. I don't know. You got the rainy season going on too long. Don't flood, but you also need water. Take care of yourself. Get appropriate weather to you, my love. So yes, it is disturbing, but now you know. So this was a whole thing. Hey, all Canadians want is happiness. And ain't it the truth? I was looking back at pictures of the 2010 Olympics the other day, and mistakes were made, Thief. You left to get a beer, and now we're on to Dick Waffles. Actually, one time, Thief and I went out, and we went to a little place. Do you remember? I ordered the most ridiculous dessert I'd ever have, and it was mini donuts, and they were served on a tray, and they had vodka-soaked gummy bears riding in the mini donuts like they were inner tubes floating in the pool, and they were in like a river of chocolate. Delightful. Fucking Vancouver. Okay, listen, dicks, put them away. Happiness. You're here for happiness. So in the spirit of eating whatever you're going to eat for 420, whether or not you're under the influence, good Lord, let's try and get back on track. I was going to play some music tonight that is gently stoner inspired. And so happiness for all of you. I'm going to play something by a band called Dr. Smoke. And I'm going to play something, let me think here. I'm going to play something that kind of fits in with tonight. It's a little doomy. It's a little, I don't know. And also the tiki bar is coming back to Vancouver in a big way. I don't know if you live, is it just that the 70s are back? I don't know. But so let's do this. I'm going to play something by Dr. Smoke, and I'm going to play something that has a bit of this doomy, gloomy, lo-fi kind of jam for tonight. And then we'll come back around, and I got lots more music to play for you guys, inspired by, well, a bunch of live shows, my reinvigoration after a long dormant season, and of course, just random shit that I would like to put in your ears. Unlike the waffles shaped like dicks that you would like to put in your mouths. All right, I'm going to play you something called The Willow. My name is Crimson Clad. This is Fullforce Radio. Believe it or not, we're not even halfway through. We've already just peaked at penis waffles. So, you know, dick waffle feels like something, it feels like a good insult. I'm going to keep that one in my back pocket. You utter glazed dick waffle. All right, there you go. Can I finish my pizza quick enough? So listen, hey, hi, welcome to Full Force Radio. I'm Crimson Clad, and tonight we have no theme whatsoever. I'm a couple shots in. I'm full of full sugar, caffeinated, fucking Drano chemicals. I'm eating a pizza. I'm being disgusting, and I am sharing good, fun, heavy music with you. So over the course of the tonight, as opposed to the not tonight, because words, over the course of tonight, we've talked about a couple things. We talked about the lousy Smarch weather and how, I don't know, man, things are weird. It's been cold in a lot of places where it shouldn't be cold. That's dumb. And you know what's going to happen come the summer is somebody's just going to be like, oh shit, we forgot to like turn the AC off. And then they're just going to crank it. And we are all literally going to go to hell. And we're all going to die in an absolute flaming inferno. So with that being said, welcome. We also talked a little bit about how metal brings people together, and I was talking a little bit about going to see Slipknot, going to my first sort of big arena show in a while, because Vancouver, unfortunately, just doesn't get big metal shows very often. It's just not the way it works. So I go usually once a week to a show, usually minimum once a week. When, obviously things were still in the full swing of it. And we're getting back to that now. But the small shows aren't the same. The diehard fans, the small venues, you don't see quite as much diversity. You see some. But boy, oh boy, being up in the stands of the arena here, I don't know what it is. In my mind, it used to be GM Place. Now I think it's Rogers Pepsi Live, because of course we can't just name an arena as something sensible. And, but we're talking a little bit about that. And then of course, only Cold in Your Heart. Well, that's very metal of you. You're going to fit right in here. And then of course we somehow got back to the fact that, it's spring in Vancouver when the cherry blossoms are blooming and the dick waffles are popping up. And of course, talking a little bit about how BC Bud is the best bud in the world. Abso-fucking-lutely. The drugs are good here, and it's a pretty chill place. So 420 was yesterday. Whether or not that's your jam, you don't have to partake. I'm not going to think you're any less cool if you don't do the drugs. And in fact, if you don't do the drugs, good for you for keeping your life together. If you do the drugs, good for you for expanding the horizons of your mind. If you sometimes do the drugs, but not always, good for you for practicing moderation. The reality is, good for you. So tonight, you're definitely going to hear some druggy kind of stuff in the playlist. And yeah, Kitty Girl described that last band as like Black Sabbath and ZZ Top kind of. Yes, Twat Waffle is one of my favorite. Ron says Twitch is dumb, but he wanted that VIP role. So, I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Oh, goodness gracious me. So yes, I will be adding, let's see. Can I add people to this list? Can I do it? Let's see. I'm going to start trying to find you guys and add you to the VIP list. Apparently, I can only have 10 VIPs. Well, that's something, isn't it? Let's just see. Wow, there are a lot of chopped lambs. This is so difficult. So while I'm figuring that out, do they make twaffles and dwaffles? That's probably more logical. We should come up with cool names and just roll with it. We should portmanteau everything. But yeah, we'll figure this out. I'm going to discern how to put roles on people, and then I will create some new ones, and we'll kind of go from there. But I realized everybody was sending me messages. Chopped lamb, there's only one. Well, I'm just saying it's... listen, it is what it is. John is over on the YouTube. Wherever you may be, listen, all I'm saying is I would love to see you recognized for the coolness that you are. Hey! Ah! Somehow you threw 2 alerts, which is pretty fucking cool. Well done, bro. But with all that, hi, Normok. Hello. Oh, no, we're talking about the drugs. We already talked a bit about Easter, and now we're talking about the drugs, Normok. So, just get prepared for it. But wherever you may be, I honestly, I'm learning how to use a bunch of this technology. And if I could put a fancy label on you, well, gosh darn it, you deserve it. If there's only one, it should be the twaffle. Well, here's the deal. If you fold a waffle in half and you fill it with a bunch of whipped cream, Could you tell yourself that's what a twat waffle looks like? I mean, I had no idea, but this was something, as we move on from the dick waffle, this was something that was very surprising to me, is how many like novelty waffles there are. You can get a waffle in pretty much any shape or size. They can be made remarkably 3D. I had... Thank you. You're everywhere. You are legion. You promised to abuse your power. All right, I'm going to definitely make you a mod then. But listen, I had no idea. Like, in my search for why the fuck does a dick waffle exist, I learned that you can get a waffle that looks like literally anything. It's shocking. And one of the ones that I have to admit really fucking cracked me up is you can get a waffle or a... You can get a waffle maker that will make actual fucking keyboards. And it's delightful. Look at all that syrup retail space, man. So this is a thing. And I had no idea. And in fact, let's just pull this up on the screen because I'm just doing a quick Google search with the 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖘. But look at this. I mean, I had no idea. There's a waffle in the shape of Texas. Who fucking wants that? Nobody wants that. Why does that exist? But it does. Millennium Falcon waffle. I mean, I don't even know what half this shit is. I've never seen. This one is fish. Giant 3D fish in the shape of a waffle. Who needs a giant USA waffle? And in fact, Castleberry, here is a Bob Ross waffle maker. So these are things that I didn't know until I saw a giant dripping dick waffle. It opened my eyes to the potential of all of the different things that you can do with waffles. I had no earthly idea. You want fucking Ninja Turtle? No problem. You want tiny 3D dinosaurs? Abso-fucking-lutely. You want the poop emoji? Sure. We'll make that into a waffle for you. Why not? A lot of questions. I have so many questions. And then at the same time, you know what? This seems correct. This seems correct. So if you had to choose a novelty waffle maker that is not a giant dick, if you, whether a Canadian or not, want something other than a penis, what would it be? Do you want the giant poop emoji waffle? Do you want I don't know. I have so many questions. But I have questions for you. Tiny dinosaurs definitely is up there on my list. Sea creatures, pretty good. Look at this tiny crab waffle. I'm kind of feeling it. Little tiny trucks. I mean, I don't know, man. When I was a kid, waffles are fucking delicious. Do you really need waffles in a shape? This one literally makes Lego. Here you go. You can actually make fucking waffles that are Lego shaped. This is actually fucking baller. I've talked myself out and I am now talked back in. Jesus on a waffle. There you go. Now, Normok, would that count as a graven image? Or are we going to count that as sort of the sacrament and you are eating of his body? I have a lot of questions. Please, indeed, let me know because I wouldn't want to blaspheme while eating breakfast food. Oh, God. Shall we continue? I feel like we should continue. Shit. All right. Well, so if we're going to do it, let's... Yikes. Let's continue on. So one of the things that I mentioned to you guys, since there's bread now too. Bread emojis. I mean, if you can think of it, it is a waffle. And yeah. All right. So one of the things, since you're here, okay, yeah, everybody's going for body and blood, syrup and waffle, straight up communion. Okay, fair enough. It's not a graven image. If I put edible gold leaf, would it then become worshiping a graven image? I'm not sure. I don't know where the delineation is, but whatever. Let's try and refocus for a second here. But since Normok has arrived, and, we always tease Normok because he is a really good sport about it. Since we are the heretics, we may as well roll with it before we actually get into the less heretical part of the show. So one of the things that I was mentioning is, you guys know, I have been so excited for an upcoming show called Devastation on the Nation. The waffle isn't the real Jesus. No. I would not have known. But isn't that the point? Isn't a graven image not the real thing? And you worship it instead of the real thing? Isn't that the problem? Lord. So here's the deal. Devastation on the Nation is a labor of love put together by Dan DeFonts, and he is one of the only guys in North America putting together this incredible touring metal festival. North America doesn't get this kind of thing. It's not like Europe. It's not like Germany or Finland or France or basically anywhere in Europe. Metal festivals are hard. They're hard to put together. They are hard to attract people to. And the States specifically has incredibly dense population centers and then just nobody in the rest of the country. And Canada's like that too. And so creating a traveling metal festival, very difficult to do. Devastation on the Nation is coming through the town here to me in Vancouver on the 23rd. That's Saturday. I've got a hotel. I'm going to get destroyed. I cannot wait for this show. It's been canceled a number of times because of COVID. So I am looking forward to a wild metal-filled weekend. And so as such, I wanted to play you guys a couple of the bands that are on the bill, some of my favorite bands. Now, the reason that I mentioned this whole... we had the Warped Tour, yes. While we were talking about foods and weeds and Easter and religion and all the other shit that we were talking about tonight, I thought, okay, well, if we're going to do the heretical thing, since Normalk is here, let's do it early on. I want to play you guys something by Rotting Christ. Now, of course, not actually satanic. We've kind of been over this for many, many, many moons. But Rotting Christ is one of those bands that has a really in-your-face name, but referring to the fact that Greek people kind of had their own jam going on, and pagan and heathen religions kind of had their own jam going on, and Christianity essentially swept through the country and took over. And that's not a bad thing, but for a lot of the cultural sort of aspects in these areas, this was a big change. This was a huge change. And so we know that in Norway and across Europe, there were the stave churches that, were built over top of pagan sites. And so there was this backlash and church burning going on in the 90s. We talk about that a lot. But in Greece, not quite the same. There is this sort of quiet, unspoken metal underground that much of it just totally pure death metal, but a lot of it really does kind of harken back to this time. Fourth Night of the Revelation. No, we're not going to play that, but man, there's some great metal in Greece. If you guys remember, for the night that I unboxed my Brokus Helm stuff, that was, a small metal label in Greece putting their music out for them. A Bay Area band released and re-released under a Greek metal label. Greece, fucking all about metal. So Rotting Christ, as absolutely heretical as it sounds, I'm actually going to play you a track called The Four Horsemen. And it seems like tonight, if we had to have the four horsemen of the 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆, it's easy for you to say, the 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆, it would be the Dick Waffle, the Poop Moji Waffle, the USA Texas waffle. Who's the fourth waffle of the apocalypse? I have questions. You guys can decide. Because, all of them, cursed waffles. Just absolutely cursed waffles. But this is a great track. It's off an album called Rituals, a super cool kind of pagan-leaning album. Track called The Four Horsemen. My name is Crim 𝖖𝖊𝖆. We're about halfway through the show. I am so stoked. I have a lot of great new music, some stoner music. I've got some, just party metal. You know what? We're going to have a lot of fun. And I guess we're going to talk about dick waffles a little bit longer. The dino waffle. No, the dino waffle is pure and precious and should be savored like tiny treasures of cuteness. They do not belong in the four waffles of the apocalypse. Vlad the Impaled waffle. That probably exists. Listen, play the Rotting Christ. All right, there you go. So, Rotting Christ, a fucking amazing band out of Greece, and I'm so excited headlining Devastation on the Nation. So, if you are in North America, this is a traveling show. It is so fucking worth your time and you should go, and I'm so excited. So, if you are not doing anything and you are in Vancouver on Saturday, a couple of days hence, and you want to go, throw down at that show with me. Let's fucking do it, because I am ready. My body is ready. So, now that we've been talking about the four waffles of the apocalypse, during that, yeah, and that is an earlier album. Most people know Rotting Christ, from their newer albums, and those are, of course, definitely more sort of religion-centered. The last album that they put out was in 2019, and it was called The Heretics. It is an absolutely excellent album, and you guys know I've played quite a few off that one. Fire, God, and Fear. What else? In the Name of God. That one is very centered around Christian myth. But this track, there you go. A perfect fit for what we were talking about. And a lot of, obviously, the mythos around the four horsemen of the apocalypse. The bow, the sword, the scales, and pestilence. All of it. And yes, it was an awesome song. So one of the things that I like best about Rotting Christ is they have this weird sort of droning and chanting. They even actually borrow from a lot of the sounds that came out of the sort of Catholic Christian church. And it's very interesting, very, very much like sort of Gregorian chants or like cathedral chants that are interwoven into their music. And I really like it. So I'm stoked for this concert. But during the break there, while that track was going, I thought, boy, I'm just going to look up twat waffle, because what's the worst that could happen? After we were talking about dick waffles and we were talking about the four horse waffles of the apocalypse. I didn't look up horse waffle. Maybe I should do that. I did look up twat waffle. If I'm going to get banned, I may as well get banned. We may as well just crank it to 11 if I'm going to get banned. So it turns out you can indeed buy a waffle maker that will make twat waffles. So, choose your... some of these are not appropriate. So we're just going to scroll back up. I mean, all of these are inappropriate. But I will say, since we did do it, let's just try horse waffle, because obviously, is there such thing as a horse waffle? It turns out, no. Look at that. There is no waffle maker shaped like a horse. How on earth can we have everything else on the planet and not a tiny horse waffle? Ridiculous. Unacceptable. Let's write a letter. I don't know to who, but let's do it. Okay. So over the course of the night tonight, we've talked about a bunch of dumb shit. Like, really, yeah, genital waffle metal. I mean, not all of the waffles are genitals. We already said the four horse waffles of the apocalypse. The waffle men of the apocalypse are like the poop emoji, the dick waffle, the Go USA Texas waffle, and I guess the twat waffle. Those are the four waffles of the apocalypse. Why do they exist? We don't know. But when they all come together in one place, cursed Waffle House. That's all. All right. So, listen, I am super stoked to be getting back into this swing of things. And actually, tonight, there's a show downtown that I'm missing. But in the coming days, I'm basically going to be back to my regular schedule, which is like live music every single week. And like I told you guys, I'm super jazzed for that. A shot in the arm. And this past week, after going to the show and all the diversity and fun ridiculousness of being back in that space has reminded me why I love doing this show and why I love sharing music with you guys. We've been talking a little bit about 420 and the weed number, because that just went by. But, one of the things I mentioned a little bit earlier was about Vancouver and all of the things that make Vancouver popular. And I mentioned I mentioned that it wasn't just yoga moms with Botox bums in Lululemon and bad Starbucks and cherry blossoms and mountains to climb all year round and, après ski on Wreck Beach and all the other things that Vancouver makes possible. But I did mention that the cruise ships come in and they port right downtown. They dock right downtown. And one of my favorite views out of everything that I've ever done is coming under the Lions Gate Bridge and sort of sailing in towards Vancouver or sailing out from Vancouver. And so in a couple of weeks, I think just over. Crim is always super jazz for metal, but she's never mentioned jazz metal. Peasy, what are you talking about? I've done multiple shows about jazz metal. And in fact, I've done a couple of brass-centric and saxophone-centric shows. And I actually have a show that's being built up right now on black jazz and swing, which has bands like Seven Spires, Moontooth, Finsterforce, Tripalium, Hawkwind. What are you talking about? Sir. But yes, jazz metal. There's a horse named Waffles. Okay, but I can't eat him. Patient Zero is literally surprised that jazz metal exists. Well, the reality is rock and roll also exists because of jazz. So many things came out of jazz, and arguably at the time that jazz was just being invented, it wasn't even jazz, it was just popular music. So jazz has its devil fingers in everything. If we're going to talk about heresy, we're going to talk about the devil's music, and that is 1,000% jazz. But Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin and all of these bands that are often considered like the progenitors of heavy metal, huge jazz influences in their music. Bands like Alcest, bands like it doesn't matter. Hey, Heinz, it doesn't matter. But yes, there is a lot of absolutely exceptional jazz metal. Rivers of Nile, obviously, like Where the Owls Go My Name, has an incredible sort of entire saxophone section built up around it. Jazz metal absolutely exists. Black jazz is a thing. So that's not, and yeah, there would have never been jazz without blues first. And before blues, arguably the blues came out of, oh God, we had a whole show about this. Zeal and Ardor is sort of an explanation and an exploration of this, where we had actually people who were coming to America and who were starting to basically discover the Christian religion here, and were discovering hymnals and work chants, and whether it was slaves in the field or, humble farmers, there were people who were singing these sort of blues-based hymns that gave birth to what became rock and roll or Southern gospel or, yeah, everything is metal. So what about blues metal? Absolutely. I mean, let's face it, music is everything and everything is music. That's the reality. Everything in your life is music. You're typing and you're looking for a dick waffle, somebody's going to remix it and it's going to be the coolest industrial metal, but not me. It's almost like metal is trying to take over the world by creating a bunch of allies. Maybe. But like I said, looking around me at that show, at all of the people, whether they are coming from their 9 to 5, whether they are 60 plus years old, whether they are little kids coming to their first concert, the reality is metal does bring people together. Music brings people together. It's almost like life is better when it's shared with other people who are just around you to have a good time. Be cool, be kind, and have a good time. Listen to music. Boom! Done. Solved all the problems. Oh, God. That is a Digibyte meme, Patient Zero. Crypto managed to sneak into your meme even when you didn't want it to. Okay, so I have lots of stuff more to play for you tonight. And, I mean, speaking of heresy... Speaking of heresy, and speaking of the stoner metal, and speaking of pagan rituals, and all of the nonsense that we're going to do, Theta froze. My Theta or the MSP Waves Theta? We'll find out. But speaking of all that, if you guys are cool with it, I want to play you another down-tempo track. And since we're talking about... Since we're talking about all of the ridiculous shit going on, let's just pile on, kids. All right, so let's do the thing. I want to play you a track by 𝖍𝖊𝖆𝖆 because obviously Crim's new favorite word, heresy. I'm grabbing onto what you guys are feeding me and I'm riffing off it, okay? Listen, I'm trying to make this more inclusive for you, 𝖍𝖆𝖆𝖆. That's it. Heresy. Heresy across the board. I'm going to make a heretical waffle. I haven't figured out how yet, but I will. Some sort of cross waffle. I bet it exists. Jesus, I bet it exists. There's a Jesus waffle. Of course there's a cross waffle. I'll look it up. I want to play something by 𝖍𝖊𝖆𝖆, and I'm going to play something off their previous album. So you guys know I'm a huge fan of this band. Huge fan. And of course their music is very like retro stoner vibe inspired. I'm going to play you a track called May Queen. And so the May Queen is a very sort of pagan idea that you would prepare a young woman, you would, bathe her, cover her in flowers, take her out, and then light her on fire. So this is something that, these days we have certainly sort of relegated to the idea of horror, but obviously sacrifices, pretty heretical, wouldn't you say, 𝖍𝖆𝖆𝖆? But, if you've ever seen the original Wicker Man, or I don't know, I never saw the one with Nicolas Cage, but Nicolas Cage is in it, and it basically, the thing I know about the Wicker Man with Nicolas Cage is they put the thing on his head and he starts screaming about the bees. That's what I know. The original Wicker Man is excellent. But this sort of like pagan horror tie-in is really, really common. And unfortunately, I haven't seen it done well recently. 𝖬𝖈�MMR kind of has a similar vibe to it. It's very pretty, but it ends up being a shit movie, which is too bad. Yeah, exactly. There it is. Not the bees. That's all I know. But so the May Queen, that was the idea. You get a lovely young woman and you take her out and you burn her at the stake and, I don't know, something pagan. There's your design for the heresy waffle. Perfect. I will get right on it. I probably can 3D print it. But this is a trope that comes up a lot in horror, and you loved 𝖬𝖈�MMR. I found that female character absolutely atrocious. I found her completely unrelatable, a complete twat. She was horrible and whiny and terrible, and she ruined the whole movie. But I thought it was incredibly beautiful, and I really love a lot of the stuff that A24 does. I just found her, as a main character, absolutely awful, and most of the choices she made did not make any sense. The premise was good. It just didn't quite connect for me. I wanted to love it. I didn't love it. But before we dive to... you want some Stryper. Yeah, we are going to do a Christian metal show. We actually are, for sure. But before we dive too deep into sort of this stuff, where I was going with this is just the May Queen and the idea of burned human sacrifices is a very heretical thing. But it comes in here because obviously I want to play you guys some 𝖍𝖊𝖆𝖆𝖆, and I want to play some of this, my favorite stoner metal band out there. And so I thought I'd throw this in. But I will say, talking about Nicolas Cage, I don't know if you guys saw this, and I haven't seen it yet. But Nicolas Cage has been doing the rounds recently. I was like, what is this? I'm starting to see him everywhere. He's everywhere. What is going on? Well, he's doing this because he's just put out a new movie. And I haven't even seen a trailer or anything for it. I just read the premise of this movie, and it's called The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. And apparently it's excellent. And the whole movie is Nicolas Cage playing himself in the real world, and he gets essentially kidnapped at a party by a crazed superfan, and then has to use all of the things he's learned from the characters he's played in movies to escape. So I don't know if you've seen this. I don't know if you've heard about this, but something about this sounds absolutely fucking amazing. Nicolas Cage plays Nicolas Cage playing all of the greatest Nicolas Cage hits. It's either going to be amazing, or it is going to be the biggest dumpster fire. Nay, not a dumpster fire. The biggest Wicker Man human sacrificial pyre of all time. I'm not going to lie. I actually liked Face Off. I'm just going to play the music because I don't want to admit that live on air, but I already did. There are no secrets on the internet. This is a pretty one. Turn it up. Sway along with your heresy. So speaking of blues metal, 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖛 is having an emoji party in the chat. Just peeking, just seeing what's going on. So hey, if you're just joining us, like Lacey, or you're bopping around, you're checking out all of the different feeds or streams or all of the places to watch and listen to the show, welcome back. My name is 𝖍𝖕𝖆𝖏 and this is Fullforce Radio, and tonight has been all over the place. I intended that we would listen to some like 420 weed music because that was yesterday and that was relevant and that would be a thing that would make me popular with the kids today. And of course, there's a dearth of fantastic stoner metal and sort of stoner inspired metal. And instead, we traversed many, many topics, such as the 4 horse waffles of the apocalypse, the 4 waffle men. Why I gotta be a man? The 4 waffles of the apocalypse. And we moved through dick waffles and twat waffles and poop waffles, and it's shocking the amount of waffles there are. But somehow in the midst of all that, and yes, we mentioned that, Clay. We actually mentioned, I mean, if there's ever a day to hop straight out of a vagina, whether it's made of waffles or not, Hitler's birthday / the weed number, that's it. That's the one. But so here's the deal. Green Lung, yeah, very heretical. And that album called Woodland Rites, we've talked about it before in the past. The entire album is basically looking at the Templar mythos. But rather than the Templars necessarily only just, traipsing across the ocean to go kill brown people or, digging up hidden knowledge or building weird temples with checkerboard floors. The idea behind Woodland Rites is that they all die, and if you were a knight going out into the woods and meeting a cabal of witches, what would happen to you? And that's the whole premise behind Woodland Rites, is as a chaste, virtuous young knight, if you go out into the woods at night and you meet a coven of witches dancing around in the trees, it's a whole involved story. But the long and the short of it is, by the end of the album, all of the Templars have been raised as evil zombies and everyone's a witch. Spoiler alert. So we've discussed all that, and again, just so many dick waffles, a shocking amount of dick waffles, which maybe that's what summoned Lacey, but we don't judge here. And so we're kind of moving through all sorts of different things, and I'm playing a lot of bands that are coming up that I am going to be seeing live and that I just saw live, and I'm living my best life tonight. So I'm full of alcohol, I'm full of caffeine, I'm full of pizza, and I'm full of sass, my darlings. And so I'm going to keep playing music for you. But at one point, Patient Zero was riffing a little bit about there not being jazz metal. And of course, we immediately slapped that idea down. And Kitty Girl was talking about the advent of blues and before that. So a lot of the music on this album particularly, and a lot of sort of the southern rock styles, and even a lot of stoner and doom metal specifically, has heavy, heavy roots in blues. And a lot of these slower tracks kind of have that sensual kind of, slightly forbidden blues kind of vibe to it. And so, you know what? We can continue with that a little bit. We've still got about an hour in the show, so there's still lots to talk about. Hopefully, we will move away from Canadians wanting a penis, but there's no promises. But what I am going to do is I'm going to quickly pop in another track, and I thought we might kind of speed it up a little bit and explore the other side of rock and roll, southern rock, blues, and jazz. Good night, Ron. May flights of angels sing thee to thy rest, sir. But so what I want to play for you is actually brand new Clutch. Brand new Clutch. And if we're going to talk a little bit about sort of southern rock styled or heavier rock and roll that has a little bit of swang on it, then Clutch is absolutely I converted him, which is hilarious because I don't worship Satan. I appreciate the best points of all of these religions, but I think the most important thing to remember about Satanism is that it literally cannot exist without Christianity, and vice versa. Christianity needs Satan as well. They're framing devices that help us better understand human nature and also help us experience the glory of the universe around us and make choices, good, Bad? I don't know. It's up to you. Whatever, man. Flying spaghetti monster if you need him. Cthulhu's a good choice. You know, have at her. So while you guys are doing it, I'm actually going to play something by Clutch. It is brand new. It's a little short track. So we'll just pop it in here to keep that rock and roll vibe going, but to pick the pace back up before we dive into some heavier metal. Is the Church of Body Mod a branch of Satanism or their own? I can't remember. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a branch off Satanism, because there are a lot of sort of little tendrils that have come out of Satanism that are very specifically designed to take autonomy to the next level. But let's do it. I'm going to play you a track called Red Alert. It is boss metal, bitches. Boss metal here on Full Force Radio. And then when we come back, I'm sure I've got a couple more things we can discuss. But I'm caught between what we're going to call them, because you can't say the 4 horse waffles, because we determined there was no waffle maker that makes horses, which is absurd. So the 4 wafflemen, I don't know, that feels awfully gendered, and apparently we're not allowed to do that anymore. So the four what? The 4, I don't know. There's something has to go in there. We need another syllable. We need another syllable for emphasis. But the 4 waffles of the apocalypse, and also, right at the very start of the show, we were talking about terrible names for weed. Jazz cabbage, the devil's lettuce, rapscallion, scallion, Viking adventurer came up with some real good ones. Castro's, cilantro. You know, so somewhere in the mix, we're growing a garden and we are creating baked breakfast goods. And you may or may not choose to mix religion into it. But let's do some new Clutch on Full Force Radio.
I used to work by Dr. Will. Didn't it air so well. Been misbehaving since the damn house day. Quit now, you won't regret. But you gotta take that first step. You strike me as the type who honestly appreciates electromagnetic pulses in my veins. Nothing venture, nothing gain. Better lunch. Boss metal zone, better lunch. The greatest living science fiction writer in the world. You're looking at 'em. Yeah, you're looking at 'em. You'd make a great companion on a fantastic voyage. So what do you say? Yeah, what do you say? Electromagnetic pulses in my veins. Nothing venture, nothing gain. Better lunch. Boss metal zone, better lunch. You've been grinding 9 to 5, mining just to stay alive. How many heartbeats are there left for the record? Can you pass the vodka test under emotional stress? Are you familiar with the 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆 metalhead? Electromagnetic pulses in my veins. Nothing venture, nothing gain. Better lunch. Boss metal zone, better lunch. Electromagnetic pulses in my veins. So many tears in the rain. Better lunch. Boss metal zone, better lunch.
That's one of those tracks that just creeps up on me and ends out of nowhere. Son of a biscuit. So, hey, yeah, welcome. We had to jam back in. We were doing a little bit of the rock and roll southern rock. New Clutch. Red Alert Boss Metal Zone. So, hey, listen. Everybody in chat is talking about the drugs. I will say, Wow, you've done 2.5 grams. That's a lot. That's a lot. Oh, hey, now everybody is hopping in here now, and everybody's talking about all sorts of things. Frankie's here. So, here in BC, this is something that I find is really, really interesting. Yeah, wow, Gabe, that is tough because acid, acid, the saying is usually that acid puts you in the driver's seat. Mushrooms take you for a ride. What the fuck? If you take them together, what happens? Who's driving? Drive, monkey, drive! But, however it may be, this is always something that I find very interesting because here in Vancouver, most of this stuff, completely legal, doesn't really do a whole lot, right? But I am interested because I didn't know that a lot of places still in North America or around the world, you can't just order this shit in the mail. Here you can. What happened to good old days when people just drank a shit ton of whiskey? I still do that. I do that more than anything, to be quite honest. But every now and again, that's right. You gotta have your uppers and your downers and your complete shit sidewaysers. But yeah, for me, alcohol is usually my drug of choice. But I do like a bit of variety now and again. And I tend, as I mentioned earlier, when we were talking about the marijuana, I personally like edibles. I don't like smoking. I like my lungs. Smoking in general, of all substances, just ooks me out. It's, and so that's fine. But whatever you may do, here in Vancouver, Clay has seen me at my best/worst. I will admit, I did put a hurt on a bottle in front of him, and it was a rough night. And we did, it was a good time. It was a party, for sure. But no word of a lie. It is because I have a couple of good fat receptacles between these and all of this that I can hold my alcohol. But edibles in general, every now and again, they're a good time. And I will say, in Vancouver especially, one of my favorite things to do, take a little bit of shrooms and then you go on a good hike. And as you are kind of experiencing bliss and wonderfulness and whatever, did you hold her hair? No, I don't puke. Normak, I don't puke. And yeah, you did see that. And no, we don't talk about it. It was very embarrassing. No, I don't puke. We don't do that. It's puke 3 since 2003. It's not. What a waste of alcohol. Why would you take the alcohol in if you were just going to waste it again? Absolutely not. Amateur hour around here. But listen, don't poison yourself overly. Okay, that's all I'm asking of you. But I will say that if you are hiking up a mountain, taking in the views, it's great to do it sober. But every now and again, a little bit of a vision quest is nice, to go lay on top of a mountain in the sun with the rustling of the trees and the chirping of the birds, and your mind sort of expanded to take it all in. Chop Lamb said one time he took an additional Advil than was recommended. You are a wild man, sir. A wild man. I think probably one of the weirdest things that I've done was when I was in Fiji, I drank some kava and it tasted like fuzzy dirt. Normang, no. It was bad. It was very embarrassing. I had some kava in Fiji. They ground up the root and we did a whole ritual and everything. And good Lord. And yeah, I just remember it tasted like dirt, but sort of like carbonated dirt. And then for a little while later, all of my digits disappeared. They were there and I could use them, but I couldn't feel them. I couldn't feel my toes. I couldn't feel my fingers. I wandered around Fiji with no digits. That was it. And it was like part of visiting a village and it was fun. But that was the weirdest thing I've ever done. I'm not a big drug person. What can I say? Okay, so however it is that you like getting your jollies, that is a-okay. But yeah, if you ever do want to come to Vancouver, I will happily escort you up a mountain. I know of all the good ones. I would love to go on a hike with you. And many, come on up. I will definitely be wearing better bras. I can't believe that came up again. Fuck. This is very embarrassing. I don't get embarrassed a lot, but the day that I was like first meeting for the first time all of these wonderful people that I've met through this radio show, through the blockchain, through this Discord, through all of these internet connections, meeting you guys for the first time, walking down the street and literally just having my bra be like, Nah. Just, nah. Fuck. And then having to buy one at 1 a.m. at a CVS, an old lady bra. I did, because Cubby couldn't fix my bra. She tried to fix it with a hair clip, and it didn't work. Oh, my God. All right. I don't know. Let's talk about literally anything else but this. So I've lost complete track of everything. So I went to see Slipknot this weekend. And so I am going to play you guys some Slipknot. And one of the things that I thought was quite fun, remember how last week I told you guys that mentally I'm stuck in the early 2000s, late 1990s, early 2000s, when people are like, oh, blank. Here's this thing. And I'll be like, yeah, that was like 10 years ago. And somebody be like, nope, that was 30 years ago. And I'll be like, because mentally, I'm just not here. Bitch. Mentally, I'm stuck in that time period. And so, going back and watching Slipknot, I was like, oh man, I forgot. Slipknot has like 1 trillion members. I forgot. And then while I was watching Slipknot, one of the things that I thought was really interesting, if you remember the industrial, like now, Devastation on the Nation, the tour starts tonight, Clay. God, you're here late. Catch up. I will give you all of the great details very soon. But listen, I want to tell you guys. So I forgot. Slipknot has 1 trillion members, right? Do you guys remember that there was this time in the late 90s, early 2000s in industrial where there was this one sound, and it kind of sounded like a clanking metal sound. And it was in every song. It was in the Prodigy, I think in Firestarter. It's kind of like a chain hitting, like, I don't know, when you were a kid, if you like had a stick and you walked by a chain link fence and you hit the post, that sound, that was in industrial metal all the time. John! And so, I didn't realize how pervasive this sound was. And so now I'm watching Slipknot and I'm like, oh yeah, listen to all this industrial sounds, cool. And I always thought, well, there's like at least 2 DJs in Slipknot. That must be how they get that sound. Well, no. One of the most fun things about the stage show from Sunday that I had kind of forgotten about was they had absolute giant fuck off metal industrial chemical drums up above the stage, and they were just smashing them with metal like sticks, and the metal sticks were on fire. If you need to have clanking metal sounds, well, goddamn it, hang a barrel over the stage and hit it with a metal baseball bat. Also, light that shit on fire, because that's what we do. And that was fun, but it reminded me how I'm stuck in the late 90s again, because all I could think about as Slipknot was playing, as these blast beats were going, as these percussionists were running all over the stage, everything's on fire, somebody's guitar is shooting fire, they're smashing industrial barrels. The only thing that I could think of was, wow, I forgot Slipknot had a drum line. And then, yes, yes, Gabe, yes. And then I realized, you know what? It's not just that Slipknot has a drum line. This reminds me of Stomp. Do you guys remember Stomp? Was Stomp just a fever dream? Was that a thing that anybody else remembers, or is that just a product of the fact that my brain is caught in a time that nobody else wants to remember? I have this question. Didn't they start in the early 90s and kind of go on an upward trajectory till about 1998, which is, by the way, when Slipknot started? Do you guys remember Stomp? Or am I the only person? It's okay if you don't. But as I'm watching Slipknot running around, and, you've got a couple of them playing snare drums, and you got a couple of them smashing industrial barrels, and the blast beats are going, and everyone around me is in a mosh pit, I'm thinking like, oh yeah, you remember those guys that had the, trash can lids on their feet? This is what my brain does. Why am I like this? Honestly, what the fuck? Why? Why is my brain built like this? Holy, Stomp still has a website, guys. Wow. It's still going? Oh my gosh. Apparently you can go to New York City and Stomp is still a thing. Well, I'm sorry, guys. Whatever it is then and now. They're different. I'm talking about 1990s Stomp. And apparently, when I Googled Stomp, the first thing that autofilled is Stomp still a thing? And so apparently, yes. Apparently, they turned it into a Broadway musical. Well, what I remember is a bunch of ragtag people who taped garbage bins to themselves and had sticks. And that was a whole thing in the 90s. I also remember the Tap Dogs. I do. Oh my God. The 90s were fucked up. Let's listen to some music. Where I was going with this is Slipknot was fun, and they did fun things, and there were barrels. I don't know. My brain is broken, guys. So with that, let's play some actual Slipknot. I'm going to play you a track that was absolutely fantastic on Sunday. A gentle reminder that Slipknot was, for a lot of us coming out of the 90s and into the early 2000s, it was an introductory course in extreme metal. For those of us who were too young to really be on top of what was happening with black metal and death metal and extreme metal coming out of the 90s. Like me, I was like 8. I was not quite hip to what was happening across Europe and whatnot, you know. But Slipknot spoke to me. And Slipknot was my gateway drug for sure. So I will say Sunday was a hell of a time. Maybe it was the Slipknot. Maybe it was the gay man's acid. Maybe it's Fullforce Radio. Yes, there you go. Like breathing in sulfur. Honestly, it's a good time here. Thank you for indulging me and letting me play you a bit of Slipknot. My name is 𝖍𝖊𝖆𝖆, and tonight's show has been fun as hell. It hasn't really had a theme. Bit inspired by the last show that I went to. We've been talking about the weed. We've been talking about waffles a lot. And overall, it's been a great one. So, wherever you are, whomever you are, whatever time it is for you, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a good one. We got about half an hour left in the show. I have a lot of music. We are not getting through all of it because I just looked. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 more songs totaling 3, 7, 10, 15, 20, 30, 37, 42, 46, 50 minutes of music. So, yeah, exactly. Lacey's going, babe, when do we ever? It's true, I suck. But it's part of my charm. I keep you coming back for more because things that get trimmed off of tonight's playlist go back into the big bucket and, of course, could come up again. So you'll have to come back. If I ever make it through a playlist, you will know that I was very well prepared or I wasn't prepared enough. Either or. This is right in the middle when I've got a million things that I want to play for you and never enough time. Stop letting the chat derail you. Never! The whole point of this show is responding to chat. And one of the things that makes me laugh so hard is when I don't respond to chat, then everybody's like, oh, this is so boring. And when I do respond to chat, everybody's like, oh my God, ignore the chat. And when I do play music, people are like, oh my God, we just want to hear you talk. And when I talk, they're like, oh, please, please just play music. The reality is, Fullforce Radio is a very contrarian experience. It probably is enjoyed better when drinking copiously or on a lot of drugs. And it's funny because everybody claims that they're the one that derails the show. But at the end of the day, who brought you the gigantic dripping glazed dick waffles? It was me. It was me. Who brought up Stomp? It was me. God, you know what? Let's forget that part. Let's rewind and go back. I haven't gotten angry at chat yet. I love the thief is just literally waiting in the background. Do you have that macroed? Crim, you're doing it wrong. I'm always doing it wrong. I'm never actually angry at you guys. The few days that I do get angry, you'll know. There have been a couple rage quits on this show. And there have been a couple of cries on this show. And the crying is very unfortunate because it usually comes from when I feel like there is a problem within our community or there's interpersonal issues within our community and that I have caused harm to someone. I love to joke about causing you guys harm. And in fact, in a lot of ways, FFR is overall egregiously harmful to your health. But it is harmful with loving intentions. But there have been times where I have, whether truthfully or, as a matter of perspective, caused people pain. Whether that's causing a fight, whether that's making them feel attacked, whether that is whatever. And that is never my goal on this show. And there have been some times, whether it is related to the blockchain or whether it is related here to this show, that certainly I have been emotional on air. I'm not ashamed of it because I've also absolutely ripped people's testicles out on air. Get you a girl who can do both. Just a lot less crying. Maybe also not a whole lot of testicle ripping. Let's just find a happy middle point. If you haven't made me drink on the show, then you're not an active audience member. True dat, John. Okay, so with that being said, right before... Pretty sure chat is the reason Crim drinks in general. I will take your excuse, sir. This place doesn't seem right unless I'm tormenting Peasy. You know what, though? There are some very sort of well-defined interactions and relationships in the chat. And often, I will say, sometimes things toe the line of fully inappropriate. But one of the other things that I like is most of the time in here, even when we are being impeccably rude and quite snippy, there is an understanding. Overall, we have a pretty good level of respect for each other. And when something does turn serious or when something is generally too hot, everybody backs off. You don't have to change your opinion. You don't have to be kind when you don't feel like being kind. But the reality is once again, we can choose not to walk down the street today and cause an altercation. And the street is Fullforce Radio. And if you want to come in here and be a piece of shit purposefully to try to harm someone, I'm gonna bounce your ass out of here so quick. But we often disagree, and that is very allowed. And in fact, we often, look at that, you got a diamond. I figured it out. Yes, letting off steam is important. I don't ever want people in here to actively start trying to fuck with each other in a way that is purposeful to cause harm. And I won't tolerate it. But absolutely razz each other into the ground, hold divisive opinions, do not agree, enjoy a good debate. If you can't enjoy a debate, I'm sure we've got a waffle for you. So with that, I have 50 minutes of music. I have 30 minutes of time. Do the math. I'm a girl. We're not good at that. Clearly, a bunch of this stuff isn't going to make it into tonight's playlist. So I have a couple of must plays that I want to get into the list. And I have a couple of things that are just cuz. But one of the bands that I want to drop in here, since we have been talking a little bit about what it takes to enjoy life, what it's like enjoying the great outdoors, Canada, Canadian stoner metal, all of that stuff. I have a band that must be played tonight, obviously. And I want to play a band for you called Woods of Ypres. Ypres. I don't know how you would say it in a non-French accent. But an incredible band, a Canadian band. And some of the most awesome Canadian black metal ever. And unfortunately, David Gold, one of the original members, we lost him far too early. And so this band kind of is frozen in time because there's going to be no more new music, but it is a cherished part of Canadian metal history. And, the only reason girls can't measure is because men have lied to them their whole lives. Yeah, why not, right? Why not? We can all do a pickle measure in chat. If you need to know, don't worry. The internet will tell you. You're just pickle it up. But so the long and the short of it is, the other member outside of David Gold, the other members, they've moved on and they've created some of the other great Canadian black metal and death metal bands that are out there, including a band that I love to play for you guys, 𝖭𝖨𝖏. So the long and the short of it is, these guys have to, I thought Julia had a pickle, or I thought Anarchist had a pickle. What happened? Did we lose Pickle? Oh no. We got de-pickled? That's terrible. Pickle? Nope. Pickle? How dare. Well, okay. Don't measure your pickle then. Forget I said that. But since we're talking about Canada, we're talking about tripping around Canada, we're talking about drugs, we're talking about all the things that are important to tonight's show, then I really do desperately want to play this for you. And I want to play a song called Natural Technologies. I haven't played it on this show before, and tonight seems like the perfect night. So if you don't know, if you've never heard Woods of Ypres, then tonight is the night. It's happening. It is some of the most depressing, uplifting, magical lo-fi metal from Canada, from the depths of the forests. It's excellent. And I think you should turn it up. You know, tonight has been a trip. I don't know if there's ever been a Fullforce radio where I have had to not just yell at people for penises and waffles, but also be like, excuse me, nobody put their penis into the pickle. Please stop. Don't put your... Nope. I know that pickle looks fuckable, but don't put your dick in it. Guys, don't put your dick in the pickle. The fact that I have to say this is, you know what? It's not even surprising. It's fine. It's great. Tonight has been a trip because 420. Whoa! Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Weed numbers. So we're heading towards the end of the show. And yeah, I agree. I knew I'd get LK back. Honestly, 𝖊𝖕𝖎𝖆 is just one of the most amazing bands out there. Just the royalty of Canadian metal. Beautiful, haunting tracks, and I totally agree. An absolute tortured genius. And that particular track is off of Woods 4, the Green album. And that album is a little bit heavier in general. As you move forward and sort of to the last couple of albums in the discography, you will find really melodic, awesome tracks. And I did for a little bit think about playing Wet Leather, which is one of my favorites. You know, and this makes me think, everybody has been talking about, oh my God, the titty gifs in chat now. Jesus Christ. Oh, tonight, waffles and pickles and waffles. The pickles and waffles of the apocalypse. Ypres. I should say it like that. But yeah, Wet Leather is one of my favorites. And somebody made me think of this earlier because people have been asking, when are we going to do a karaoke night? And I've got to figure out what the logistics of that look like, because that's one of mine for sure. Life is just pain and piss. It's nothing that I won't miss. That is up there for me for sure. So I'm working on that because everybody keeps asking about it, and I haven't quite determined how we're gonna do a metal karaoke night, or karaoke, or however the fuck you guys were spelling it. I don't know. I don't even ask anymore. Chat's just, goodness gracious me. So as we are coming into the last little bit, and especially because that part in the middle where the background track drops out and they're just pounding on the table and it's just doof, 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 and he's chanting over top of it. Oh, it's a great track. Man. Yeah, where would even have the songs? So I'm thinking about it, but everybody keeps asking about it, and I don't know. I suspect, I have an inkling that you guys actually just want me to sing and embarrass myself on air. So, it's Pickle Dick. Oh, God. This is just, oh, Lord Almighty. You know, this is hearkening back to Lacey's early days. If it exists, there's a sex toy of it. It's, goodness gracious me. Chat's getting dangerous. So if you're not in the Discord, that's all right. It's probably for the best. But yeah, so I've got like not even 15 minutes left in the show. And of course, just a trillion fucking songs. And all of them I want to play for you. And I am struggling with what's going to make it into the playlist. So maybe one more weed track. And Chemists? I don't even know. Christ. Oh, God. I want to play all of these songs. Everything on this playlist is good. I pick a lot of good tracks, dudes. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to play one more weed-ish track. I'm going to play something by a band called Greenleaf. And obviously, Greenleaf is, again, a little bit stoner metal-y. But so I want to kind of grab this. They are a sort of Swedish stoner metal. Swedish stoner metal band. I'm going to play you a track by them, and then I'm going to play something by Chemist, because what I was going to mention was that in about 17 days, give or take, after I was talking about cruise ships coming into the harbor in Vancouver, I have decided I'm going to run away to the mountains again. And because I live in Vancouver, one of the best ways to get up to Alaska is via cruise ship. A lot of places along and up the Inside Passage you can only get to by plane or by boat. And so I'm going to go back. I'm going to climb some more mountains. I'm going to hike through some more trees. Done deal. So I'm going to take the boat up the coast, Good night, 𝖊𝖕𝖎𝖘. And I'm really looking forward to that. So I was thinking about, getting back to Alaska, getting back on the road, taking more photos, being out in nature, spending time amongst the trees and the rocks and the wind and the waves, and just being a dirty mountain climbing hippie girl. But one of the things that is fabulous is not only am I leaving for Alaska, the night before I'm getting to see Mastodon, Opeth, and Chemist in another big arena show. I am jazzed. It's going to be amazing. You guys know of my mad, mad love for Chemist. So here's what we're going to do. We usually finish the show on a banger, on a sing-along track, on a Dio, on an Iron Maiden. The way that we're going to work tonight is we are going to cross over. We are going to end with a very famous Dio track performed by Chemist. But in between, I'm going to play you something called Ocean Deep by Greenleaf. We got the cruise ship. We got the Vancouver surrounded by water. We got the weed reference. Hi, Ed! We got all of those things rolled into one. We're going to play that track. We're going to come back. We're going to do a quick recap of the night. And then we are all going to sing our guts out to the last track. My name is Crimson Clad, and this is Full Force Radio. It's almost over, so you shouldn't leave. If you do, last one out puts their dick in a pickle? Some of you are going to like it, though.
Cold in the dark.
if you are looking for some fuzzy rock and roll vibes, that album is so good. So good. It's a band called Greenleaf, and the album is called Trails and Passes. If you are looking for fuzzy rock and roll, slightly stonery hiking music, that's the stuff. Yeah. So listen, as a BCite, as somebody who lives in BC, bears are the norm. I meet bears all the time hiking. And the way that I keep bears away, the way that I keep bears safe and I keep myself safe, is I make a lot of noise. So I sing at the top of my lungs when I'm out running the trails. The dogs get a bell on their collar, but it has happened more than once, and I've told you guys the story more than once, that I've tried to pet a bear thinking it was my dog. I've run into a bear on my way back into my hotel up in Whistler. I bump into them to the trails all the time. Very, very common here. If you come to visit me, I will not encourage that you fuck with bears, because bears deserve to just live their best life out in the trees. So if you're going to do a bunch of drugs and run around on the mountains, I'm going to take the dog's bear bell and I'm going to put it on you. And that way it would absolutely keep you away. Lacey says, if no pet, why friend-shaped? I know. And honestly, they have the most delightful round, not even round with an N, but round with an M. Round bears. They're so cute. Black bears are delightful. So cute. But also, don't fuck with bears. So, as we come here to the end of the night, I have one last track for you guys. And speaking of Crim singing, I'm taking off Bokassa, Ghostbath, Kublai Khan, Ordos, Ghoul, Mastodon, Opeth, and Eastern High. There is a whole chunk. I'm picking them up right now. Boom! And I am throwing them back into the giant radio pile. So those are being taken off tonight's playlist, and we are coming to the end of the show. But I promised you guys one more track. And I promised you that we would play a big ass arena sing-along, old school style track. But in the spirit of the stoner doom kind of vibe that we're rocking tonight, and of course, in the spirit of enjoying the shows that are coming up that I'm so excited of, we're going to play Rainbow in the Dark. Everybody knows the words to this. You need to sing along. But I'm going to play you the version by Chemist. Now, Chemist I've played a lot on this show, and I told you guys that their most recent album is a contender of album of the year for me. You did miss it, Corbin. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's all right. I won't take it to heart. But so the latest album, Deceiver, one of my album of the years for sure. And all of their albums are great. But in 2020, you may have missed this, Chemist put out an album called Doomed Heavy Metal. And on this album, there are a couple of covers. And the one that you might have missed that desperately needs to close out tonight's show is the classic Rainbow in the Dark. I love Chemist. I love metal. I love you guys. So for the last track of the night, turn it up and sing along. Yeah, Rainbow in the Dark.
Is it someone that you know?
How fun is that? Ridiculous? Yes. Stop, chemists, stop. How much fun was that? Guys, we have come to the end of the show. Is it as good as the original? No. Is it fun as hell? Slightly drop tuning, a little bit slower, great polyphonic harmonies through the whole thing, a little faster section in the middle with the diddly guitars. Love it. I'm a huge Chemist fan. Why not? It lets me play Rainbow in the Dark more frequently when I can sneak in a cover because technically I'm not playing the same song. Oh gosh. Okay. So the reality is we've run out of time. I hope you guys had so much fun. You are now, unfortunately, the show is ending, so you are being left all on your own, you little rainbows. Don't sit in the dark too long. I will be back on Saturday for Cyber Buzz, and of course, I will be back next Thursday for another edition of Full Force Radio. What will it be? Who the fuck knows? But it will be after Devastation on the Nation and Amorphous, so I suspect we're going to have a metalhead kind of night. 𝖊𝖕𝖆𝖆, listen. That's for next week. You'll have to come back and join me then. I hope you had a lot of fun tonight. And if you want to check this out, remember the replays are on YouTube, Spotify. I release all of the songs later on. I will do my best to keep things updated. I suck. Also, let's go to Finland together. Jump into the Discord. Okay. You're allowed to turn your radios off now. And of course, you can go to mspwaves.com if you want to find the other DJs. Of course. But I'll see you on Saturday next. Bye.